We welcome you into Pensacola, Florida, where the snow is all melted, and we're in the warm confines of the field house here on the campus of the University of West Florida. Will Kennedy, Taft Bentley with you. Gulf South Conference basketball. Liv Becker will be joining us on the call after the women's game. Women got a nice win, 68-58 in the opener here. Monday night hoops, unusual. Didn't they used to do that in the Big East, Taft?
I think this is Big Monday. Is that what they refer to it as? Is this my last chance to say Blizzard season? Is this it?
Season's over, I believe, yeah.
Are we going to get a Dairy Queen sponsor? Is there any chance I could get that back into the mix?
This is a big Monday because this is a big game for the Argos here. Coming off a loss to number 5 ranked Alabama Huntsville over the weekend. They are sitting in 9th right now in the Gulf South Conference standings. Got to find a way to get a win here tonight to keep that pressure on. Top 8 make the postseason tournament. And we got our players of the game to keep an eye on for this one. Excuse me, I almost said Alabama Huntsville. We don't want to see them again. West Cal comes into this one. They have been struggling a little bit. They won 27 games last year, made it to the NCAAs, got a win in that tournament. Thaddeus Williams is their leading scorer. He's the guy that they're going to kind of roll with here. 5'11" guard, but tough guard play. We've been watching him for a couple of years. He comes in averaging about 15 a game, takes care of the basketball. Argos are going to have to keep him in check.
The guard play every year for Coach Woodruff's teams, always elite. I think you and I spend so much time talking about how much fun the guard play is year in and year out for West Al. So that has to be the effort and the mindset for UWF. Can you slow down these guards?
For the Argos, Xavier Glenn is our player to watch, coming off a really nice 14-point game against the Chargers. And X is one of those guys. He is kind of an X factor. He's going to do things on the defensive end. He'll rebound the ball well, shoot a three occasionally, but really is so active in the paint.
He really kind of sets the tone for the Argonauts. You saw it in that last game against number 5, 6 UAH, top team in the conference. He was not at all intimidated, and you could see the other Argos were ready to follow right behind him. So more than just the points that he'll bring into the game, he just brings a mindset that I think gets everyone going for UWF.
How tight is it? I got my notes right here. You know, in those spots, after the first 5 are kind of set in the conference, but then you've got this West Alabama team is in the mix that, you know, right now they're 5 and 7 in the conference. They are 6. Delta's 5 and 8 and 7th. Auburn Montgomery 5 and 8. You know, and then 9 is UWF at 4 and 8. They win tonight. They're right there in the mix again. And Lee's on their heels too. So you've got a bunch of teams that are going to be fighting for those last 3 spots.
You hear us talk about it a lot on the broadcast. There's no doubt this is the best conference in Division II. There's just no doubt in my mind, because every single night there's a quality opponent. And you're seeing right now what is happening. Any of these teams can come out of the mix, and that's something that Coach Mann has got to get his guys to believe in. And the way that they play, they're really playing for the postseason.
Second leading scorer on the team behind Thaddeus Williams, Rayshawn Frederick, 6'5", kind of guard-forward combo. He's out. Knee injury, probably done for the season. Talking with Coach Mann beforehand, he'll change the dynamic a little bit of the way the Tigers will play. The Argos, though, they're missing a key guy, and that's Latarian White. He's out for maybe 2 more weeks, but I kind of thought if he plays against Huntsville on Saturday, that might have been a different outcome in the way LT could play.
Yeah, you always worry about LT all season long. He's had that hand taped, and I think every single time I'm driving over here, we got LT, right? We got LT. So you know teams are going to face this adversity. Is that next guy ready to step up? And Xavier Glenn has done that so far. Who's going to join him in that party?
Well, we love dunks. I think the audience knows that.
The shoes?
Now.
The shoes
no,
dunks?
Not the dunks, the actual throwing it down. We love those shoes, too. But the fact that we love slam dunks, and LT is one of our favorites to watch throw down.
Favorite dunker?
Yeah, he's up there. I think Tariq McAlpin's still my favorite. But
I've got my phone out. You said his name.
Okay. Said his name. We're getting ready. The starters have been introduced for the Tigers, and now it's time for the pomp and the circumstance. I think the lights are about to go off, and we're about to meet the starters here for the Argos tonight.
We don't have to pay any extra for the hype video, right?
No, but it's
That's
dynamic.
Sweet. That is sweet.
It's enjoyable. First, Tim's got to get through whatever. His voice has got to be tired. There were a lot of threes in that women's game. I heard him yelling.
Don't get him started, Will. Come on, I've asked you about this.
And here we go. Lights are down. Let's get our starters in for this one. Elliott Tulip, what a great name, wears 0 for the Tigers. Charles Fofana, number 3. Dedravius Weathers wears 11. Thaddeus Williams, 22. And Marcellious Lockett, 23. The Argos will start Elijah Weiss, Kyle McElroy, Jerron Briggs Jr., Xavier Glenn, and Shea Davis. Your kind of your consistent starting 5 here. And here we go, underway. Monday night, big Monday from the Fieldhouse in Pensacola, Florida. The Argos needing a win here. Coming into this one, 5-13, 4-8 in the conference. This would be a big one tonight with Valdosta coming in next Saturday. Their Blazers are second in the conference. Shea Davis, I talked to him in the tunnel before the game. While we were playing, I said, go get your shot, hunt your shot tonight. That's the start you want to see from number 14.
Well, he's the guy you want to look for against that 2-3 zone West Alabama starts the game in. And you wonder, how long they're going to stay in it if you've got the ability to get it right there on the wing, as easy as that last possession was for the Argos.
Weathers inside for the Tigers is 6'7", but everybody else 6'3" or shorter, so the Argos will have a size advantage, a length advantage a little bit in a lot of matchups here. Right now in that man-to-man defense. Tulip fires one up. It's the miss. Shea Davis going to let the rebound go out of bounds. Smart play there. Argos basketball.
So what beats a zone? You've heard me talk about it many times. It's going to be penetration and ball fakes, and that's what got Shea open in that last possession. Xavier Glenn with a ball fake and then a quick skip to him. Easy 3 for Shea.
Argos shooting about 44% from the floor for the season. And there's the guy we said to watch, X. Xavier Glenn gets in there, drops in a bucket from in the paint.
And he's already bringing that attitude I talked about. That belief, when you see your guy doing that, you know you can compete against anybody.
Baseline drive cut off by Elijah Weiss. The Argos digging in defensively. Taft's loving it as X is clapping the hands.
Yeah,
that on the defensive end. Shot clock under 10. Thaddeus Williams dribbles himself into no man's land under that basket. And the Argos cover him up, force a turnover.
We occasionally mention it, that extra defender, that baseline. Briggs gets him right into it. Turnover, ball back to the Argos.
A couple good defensive possessions early in the game, and the Argos also converting. So we talked a lot in Huntsville. They played some good defense, but couldn't come up with baskets.
Yeah, and it is always my favorite to see, like, Xavier gets that easy drive in and a bucket. Now his defense just goes through the roof.
Kyle McElroy misses. Straight on jump shot, a little flat, a little to the left. Argos get back on defense. Straight line drive by Thaddeus Williams. You got to stay in front of 22. Unfortunately, Jerron Briggs unable to do so there. First bucket of the game for the Tigers, 5-2 our score. I was looking at the stats coming into this one. Elijah Weiss, Taft, 0 for 1 for 3. He just doesn't shoot threes, but his field goal percentage from the floor not bad at about 54%.
He's spectacular around the rim.
I like a player who knows what they're good at and doesn't really try to stretch it. Misses that one.
His arms are so long. The other thing, I love his versatility on the defensive end. He can guard so many positions. Look at it. He's out on the wing, and we've seen him guard bigs all season long.
Argos get caught in a pick and roll there. Nice slide by Weathers into the key, and they find him for an easy deuce. 5-4 now. Both teams with mini runs early in this one.
Well, Shea hit that early 3, and they're out of that zone.
They're like, nah, that's not going to work for us here. Oh, Xavier Glenn goes for the fade on the baseline. Argos have now missed on 3 straight possessions. Argos got to find a way to get that consistent offense we've talked about. Not have these stretches and droughts where you get 3, 4, 5 possessions and come up with nothing.
You're just wanting me to bring up Don Nelson, aren't you? I know it.
Don Nelson every night.
You got to look for the matchups. That's got to be the key on the offensive end. Who's got the best matchup to score?
Kyle does a nice job with Weathers down low. Tipped rebound. The Argos come up with it. Shea looks to push. He'll try to get into the defender, and they're going to call a foul. That's a good call as he was sliding his feet still. Lockett moving to his right.
Yeah, and I want Shea to be aggressive. He's got to be the tip of the spear for the offense. He's the leading scorer. He's so dynamic from outside. He can make it all loosen up for all his teammates. So him being, uber aggressive right there. I think that's a good sign for the Argonauts.
Davis averaging a 13 a game, leads this team in scoring. Get an offensive foul called on the slip screen set by Elijah Weiss. That's one of those, and he even looked and said, my bad.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to get out of that pick and roll so fast because you want to have that opportunity to get a scoring cut, and you got to make sure that you're completely still, almost to the part where you have to be established so the defender has a chance to get around you.
For the folks at home that don't know the game that intricately, it's like when you don't stop fully at a stop sign, you kind of roll through.
A rolling stop?
A rolling stop. The police will pull you over sometimes if they're there. Oh, big three. Thaddeus Williams he's come to play here. 7-5 now, first lead of the game for the Tigers. And you can see Williams, why he averages 15 a game. He can drive, he can shoot it from the outside. I'm surprised that scoring average isn't a little higher, to be honest.
A lot of hand fighting here on these ball screens.
Yeah, Lockett going to work against Davis. X goes inside. Oh, I like the follow by Kyle, but unfortunately just can't grab a hold of it. Lockett turns the corner on Davis.
That straight line drive is just too easy, Will. They've got to find a way to, A, get on top of that screen and not give him that straight line, or we got to get some help to come over.
9-0 run for the Tigers after they fell behind 5-0 early. The Argos have not scored since the second possession of the game. Not really finding anything easy. Oh, blocked inside by Weathers, and X is going to have to chase the play down. Little drop pass to Weathers. A nice strip. Great hands by Glenn inside. He comes up with it. He's looking to push. Back to Shea. Shea's going to drop the three.
He likes that spot, Will. He likes that spot. And I really liked the team defense that led to that three-pointer. You had 3 Argos in the paint protecting it that last trip.
Collapsed well inside on the big man. Turn it into a 3 on the other end. Looks like Zondrick Garrett and Ryan Payne are set to check in. West Al will also bring in their first sub of the game on the next dead ball. A little hesitation jumper. Great rebound by Weiss. You saw him just kind of hang in the air there. And he gets to Briggs. No push. Davis is hunting the shots. It's 3 threes early in this one. He listened to me.
The suggestion box worked.
I went direct. I skipped the middleman and went right to him.
Well, I've been stuffing the suggestion box. Sorry.
I think he got the memo.
Hey, leading scorer, best shooter. Can we get a bunch of attempts in a game?
9 points already for Shea Davis on 3 made threes. Argos get after on the defensive end. Up 2 now, 11-9. Shot clock winding down. That shot fired up in and out for Lockett. X on the push. He's going to attack the rim, go right at Weathers. Nice little nifty reverse, and the Argos extend the lead. I like the finish.
Yeah, that was a great finish. And he had done it the trip before. And I think he overcorrected that first trip, and you saw him go in there a little easier, and he's able to convert.
Like a fruity aromatic wine. It had a nice finish to it.
I'm going to have to lean on you for the wine. Okay.
12:57 left in the first half. Argos up 13-9. We'll take our first break with the two teams right here on Flow Sports.
I almost...
Basketball is a funny game sometimes with runs. The Argos start 5-0 with back-to-back buckets, including a 3, a 9-0 run from the Tigers, Taft Bentley, and now the Argos have gone on an 8-0 run. Just like wild mood swings here.
Yeah, this makes me feel like I'm listening to some of my first broadcasts with Doug Collins, and he would refer to basketball as a game of runs.
Yes, it is. We're seeing that on full display here. Coming out of the first timeout, media timeout, West Owl set up on the offensive end. Substitutions in the game. Big Zondrick Garrett goes up, tries to get that one. Nice floater, Thaddeus. Thaddeus, you got to watch him.
So how long until Big Z ends up with the ball in his hands around the rim? How long?
It won't take long. Just got to keep him out of foul trouble. Shea goes to work, squeezes the double team. X off the wing. He's going to pull up mid-range. Misses. Nobody in there to rebound. They had already let go to get back on the defensive end.
And that's sometimes those quick shots that you don't really love.
Fighting inside. Wow, that one thrown up and in by checking into the game, Michael McIntosh. Where's number 1, 6'7" junior out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Again, no Rashawn Frederick tonight for Coach Woodruff, who's really one of their better players, their physical presence inside.
Xavier's hunting his shot, and you like some of those post-ups he's been getting so far. Really hope the Argonauts will continue to find him in those spots.
Like to see that a little closer. You know, instead of 12 feet, let's try to get posted up a little closer to the rim. Shot clock winding down. I didn't like that they left Thaddeus that open, but he misses the 3.
I'm not sure that was in the scouting report to go under that ball screen, but there they were.
Got to fight over it. There we go. Inside near the rim. There's Big Z. Finishes with the left hand. Argos retake the lead. You said how long? Not long.
He's one of my favorite Argos, and I don't know if it's just because he wears 7, but one of my favorite guys. He comes in and immediately gives always some good play, and especially around the rim.
Yeah, more of a rim protector than anybody else on this team, even though he's not the largest guy at 6'8". Good defensive job there, but even better offensive job as Lockett gets up and under for the reverse. Tied at 15. Now the runs have stopped and we're going back and forth, so see if the Argos can answer and match. That guy's looking to shoot. Oh, off to the right this time. First miss from 3 for Shea Davis. But you got to like the fact that you're looking for that shot.
Well, you can see all his teammates are looking for him to get that open look. That's the beautiful part.
I know the Argos are going to be looking to see if they can get Ryan Payne a shot, too, from the outside, get him started early. Nice move inside. Zondrick holds his ground, but a really nice finish. Using that rim as protection, McIntosh gets another bucket.
And that's just better offense. That's what ended up happening there. And that's the beauty of a reverse lay-in. You're going to jail that defender with the rim.
Davis, another 3. Missed 2 in a row now, but there's a good looks. Getting clean looks as we've just gone under the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, that's okay. I hope your arms are tired. That's the entire goal.
Good, solid start for the Argos. They're going to bring on Eli Brown and bring Weiss back into the game, the next dead ball. Also into the game is Travion McCray, wearing 13 for West Alabama, 6'1" junior. Ron off the turnover, goes to Shea. Shea's going to penetrate this time. That's going to be in the restricted area, and he's hurt. Davis is down. He's going to teammates are going to help him up a little bit. That's
he's
one
tough.
Of those. Yeah,
he's tough, Will. Hopefully it wasn't a knee-to-knee.
Yeah, we'd like to see him finish that one. Either way, 9:27 left. We're under 10. We'll take another break with the two teams. Slim lead for the Tigers. 17-15 is our score right here on Flow Sports.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
For those who sweat in determined pursuit, and those who meet the morning with a firm handshake and a smile, and breathe between stages of unwavering effort. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Will Kennedy, Taft Bentley with you here on a Monday night. Gulf South Conference hoops, 17-15 our score. West Alabama on top of the homestanding Argos of the University of West Florida. And Taft, we've been talking about it, the straight line drives that the Argos are giving up. They got to find a way to tighten that up. I'm sure that was discussed probably in that huddle there.
So how are they getting those straight line drives is the ultimate question. Will they continue to put Thaddeus Williams into a ball screen? So what has to happen? Well, we've seen Coach Mann has put numerous defenders on him to kind of give him a different look, you know, whether it's Shea and Briggs was on the last two trips. But what's got to happen on those ball screens that West Alabama is setting for Thaddeus is we have to have communication. Whatever you're going to do, whether you're going to ice or you're going to hard hedge or you're going to blitz or you're going to switch, you better talk early.
Argos get a little loose defensively, tipped around, see if they can come up with the loose basketball. Ryan Payne does. Tied at 17. Davis makes both free throws. He checks out for the first time here. But Shea already off to a great start with 11 points to lead the way for the Argos. Thaddeus Williams leads the Tigers with 7. Payne off the screen. That looked good. It looked like he got maybe touched in the air there. Certainly not bumped hard, but Williams goes to work. Briggs, nice job of staying in front of him. Williams steps back, misses, tipped around. Ryan Payne comes up with it.
I like the way that we're gang rebounding that basketball right now, Will. Everyone is involved in these rebounds so far.
Eli Brown has checked into the game.
Oh, great
nice
pass.
Pass to Zondrick. Can he turn and go at it? Yes, he can. Finishes with the left hand again. That's 2 nice finishes near the rim for Big Z.
Yeah, he's off to a hot start. And isn't it funny how he just ends up with the ball so many times in crucial spots?
Argos will set up defensively again. Tight game here, back and forth after we mentioned those early runs by both teams. Now we've settled in to a little bit of a rhythm. On the drive, kicked out to the side. That's off the official and out of bounds. Elliott Tulip couldn't handle the pass from Travion McCray. Rodney Bryant will check into the game. First action for RB
Briggs
here tonight.
Briggs okay?
Yeah, Briggs kind of limps off. Trying to see, grabbing at the shoe there. Training staff. Oh, look who's helping him over there. Delaney.
I would
went 9 for 11 in the women's game. Now
I would
she's over
definitely
there
ask
working
her.
as an athletic trainer. It is full service.
I would also ask her for any tips she's got.
might help him out a little bit here. Rodney Bryant, a little drop pass to Weiss. Oh! They're going to call a jump ball here. Weiss and the big fella, Weathers. That's incredible. Both of them at the top of their leap. And it looks like it's going to.
What happens when an immovable object?
My. This is our under 8 timeout. 19-17 our score. Argos on top by 2. We'll sort it all out on the other side.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a
And we are back. We've pulled Taft Bentley from the game. He's had to go to the bench. Liv Becker's going to come in, step into the fray here. So we'll get her jumping in with us here. 19-17, 7.5 minutes left here in the first half. Good game so far as the Argos settle in on the defensive end.
Yeah, out of the timeout, the Argos came into a 1-3-1, an extended 1-3-1, full press, and came back into it too. And it seemed that they forced a tough shot out there.
Yeah, strong shot back rim. Here's a big alley-oop. Weiss can't come down with it. Kicks to the corner. Boy, I thought Ryan Payne got hit there on the shot, and then Rodney Bryant definitely gets hit on the follow-up. And so we'll send Rodney to the free throw line, I believe. And
that was great hustle.
We were just saying, you know, West Al's been able to get some straight line drives here early. So that shift to the zone, is that to try to cut that off and maybe force them on the perimeter a little more?
Yeah, I think definitely bringing out the 1-3-1 will prevent those drives and force more outside shots. As you saw, they had to shoot an outside shot and it didn't go in, obviously. So I think that'll be definitely a good play right now by Coach.
Argos on a little 5-0 run. Bryant misses the second one. And they've got a 3-point lead. Argos really stayed, 69, 68% from the free throw line. You want to be as a team north of 70. And they're going to get a violation here, an 8-second call. Or 10. Wow, good defense by the Argos.
Yeah,
mixing it up a little.
This 1-3-1 press is really nice. They trapping the ball and speeding up West Al. I don't think they're ready for it.
A little bit of a shift and not something the Argos have thrown a lot. Their coach, Coach Woodruff over there, Nick, is getting into it with the officials. He's got every right to. He's been 2-time GSC Coach of the Year. Struggling a little bit this year, as we mentioned pregame. 8-9 coming into this one. Not what they did last year when they won 27. Beautiful pass. Weiss to Big Z. Zondrick Garrett now with 6 points in the game, and he's finished all of his chances around the rim.
Those inside shots have been very open so far. Just the screen and roll and the action down into the post. West Al is losing their big men down there and leaving in wide open layup.
You said the pregame lid, they're missing their best interior player. Rayshawn Frederick tore his knee up, done for the season, so he was that physical presence. So they're having to kind of make up for it. There's another bad three miss. I'll tell you what, the numbers don't lie. West Al only shooting 33% from three, and they only shoot 42% from the floor, so not a good shooting team. They're probably relying more on volume. Eli Brown, speaking of volume, get that man some shots.
Oh, yeah.
You like that feeling when it's nothing but net? Doesn't touch any rim, right?
Oh, man, that's the best feeling for sure.
Good little trap here right on the midcourt line. The Argos forcing West Al into some uncomfortable moments. You got to watch this guy, though, Thaddeus Young. Good hands. Zondrick Garrett gets a hand in there. And if it's going to be a turnover, forces another turnover. I love the defensive intensity here.
Yeah, I really like it. And driving into a 1-3-1 press doesn't really work very well. You have to move the ball around, have a couple players cut middle, transfer around, and then that's when you can get an open drive. But the gap wasn't there to start.
It was a disappointing Saturday, obviously, for both teams, but with the men, I mean, they felt like they played the number 5 team in the country really close and just couldn't finish at the end. Better offense here today, and that's really the key. They just couldn't score on Saturday consistently. Rodney Bryant turns the corner. Oh, Big Z got up there, but couldn't quite corral and control that tip. Argos will sprint back down, set up the defense. Up by 8, biggest lead of the game, 25-17 for the home team.
Now, the biggest thing is holding this lead.
Yeah, defensively, they're doing the job, is scoring consistently, taking advantage of the turnovers and the forced misses, and so far really good on the offensive glass. They're not giving up second chances. Another job there of tipping it around, but they come up with it. Payne off the feed from Brown. That one just a little bit off. You can kind of see it when a shooter's not quite dialed in.
Yeah, he kind of caught it a little off. He had to correct his form and then go up. So it took him an extra second. Maybe needed one more second to get his shot fully perfect. But hey, it happens. You gotta get a few out as a shooter.
Confidence in Ryan Payne. He's not afraid to shoot it anytime. Shea Davis is set to come back in the next dead ball. What a nice hesitation dribble. Good lob.
Wow.
Didn't quite catch it well, but he finished it.
Those hesitations, that's going to be key for them, honestly. Hesitate, have the post player step up, get them, then drop it off to your post player for the alley-oop like that.
They had a nice pick and roll or two with those two players, the big guy Weathers and Thaddeus Williams, but that one was just a really nice job by the point guard. Elijah Weiss is going to cut to the basket. They're going to call this an offensive foul. I disagree with that one. I thought the player was still sliding to his right, but unless he got an elbow in there, I couldn't see the old chicken wing.
Yeah, you know, the offensive fouls are those are hard ones to call, honestly, because usually you would think you would have to fall. But now it's always standing up, too.
You don't have to go to the ground anymore.
No.
Like the old days. That's the second foul on Elijah. He'll go to the bench. Shea Davis checks back in. And Rodney Bryant back in the game as well. Jerron Briggs, excuse me. Briggs is going to try to stay in front of this guy, number 22, Thaddeus Williams. That's not an easy assignment.
And it looks like the Argos went back into their man defense on that play. And as you saw, there goes the drive again that's been hurting them earlier on.
Lockett with a nice drop pass for Weathers. Argos will swing it around and find Eli, and Eli rains another one. So
he's hot. He's got the hot hand.
Absolutely. Love to see it. This is not a great shooting team. Argos from three at 34.5%. Decent, but not great. Tonight already, 4 of 9, shooting at a plus 40% clip. That's what you want to see. Teams that win a lot shoot 40% or more from three-point range.
And the three-point is like key.
Oh, that
was a good take.
Cardinal sin. You cannot give up the baseline. Travion McCray just blows past the Argo defense. This will be a quick timeout. We'll keep it here. Quick 30-second timeout. But so you're seeing the flow of the game. The Argos extend the lead out to 8, and then lose a little momentum on both ends of the court. Honestly, defensively, they've been a little shaky, as you mentioned, coming out of that zone, going back to man.
Yeah, I would like to see them go back into that 1-3-1, extended even too, because trapping those point guards up top, that sped them up, and they didn't know where to throw it. So I think that 1-3-1, pulling that back out again, is going to be key for them, and then pushing it on the offensive end.
Get some good contributions here, and you see Eli knocking down his second 3 of the game. Brown's got 6 points. Zondrick Garrett with 6 points. Shea Davis with 11. Xavier Glenn with 4. That 1 from Rodney Bryant Jr. You're getting 4 guys scoring. Really, this team has struggled to find a consistent second scorer, along with Shea Davis, who's averaging 13 a game. But tonight you're seeing, maybe it takes a village to come up with that offense.
Most definitely. And I think sharing the ball, they've been sharing the ball well, at least on that last play with Eli. They kicked it out, had 2 swings around the arc, and then made it out for the 3 for Eli.
Nice win for your group tonight, 68-58 the final there. How about Delaney, who's over there, as I mentioned, working as an athletic trainer? She was shooting lights out, but also last couple of games, her driving to the basket's been kind of different.
Oh, yeah, Delaney's a beast. You can always count on her to bring it every single game.
Liv and her group improving to 14-5, 10-3 in the conference with that win. Get a little rest now until you play Valdosta on Saturday.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice, a little week off, but not really, because practice.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be practicing hard. Eli flips it back to Shea. Shea, oh, nice hesitation move. Tried to throw one up to Kyle. Kyle was sealing off rather than going to the rim. Deron Briggs, I don't think he hit the rim there. That's gonna be a shot clock violation.
I think Shea could have gone up with that. That was he has a really nice hesitation.
Oh, that
and when
was beautiful.
When he hits them with the hesitation, the help defender always leaves. So then he has an open drive to finish with the layup.
That was, as a guard though, he's unselfish because he saw the big man had him walled off. He kind of floated it up there. That's one where Kyle's got to go get that. He's got to be ready to go grab that ball. I told Shea pregame, by the way, Liv, we were talking about this. I said, you got to go out there and be selfish a little bit tonight. Hunt your shot. He's done that early. Argos settling in here, defensive set. Williams penetrates. I think he had a walk right there. My man dragged his left foot a long way. They don't call that much anymore. Williams, look at that. Over the big man. Beautiful little finish with the right hand. It's a 3-point game.
And with a zone like that, it's important to pass it around a few times because you're not going to get it first drive off bat. You won't get to the rim then. But passing it, break it down a little bit, and then you'll get your open shot.
Under 2 minutes here in the half. This is that kind of magic time. You got to close the half strong. The Argos need to find some offensive rhythm before they go to the locker room. They'll throw that one up.
Maybe a little too high on that one.
A little too high for most people outside of Michael Jordan,
yeah,
Kobe Bryant, and some others. I'd rather throw a flat alley-oop than one that loops that much. It's hard to time your jump.
Right.
Argos getting after it here defensively. West Dallas done a nice job of reeling this back in after being down by 8 a few minutes ago. Another little push shot. Eli does a nice job of fighting for the rebound and was able to corral it. And the Argos will bring it up. 1 minute left in the half. 3-point game. Shea's looking to turn the corner here. Goes to work. And that's just a one-on-one move. It looked like he had the shot that he wanted, but there was no rebounding in there.
Right. And earlier on in this half, there was 2-3 players crashing the boards, getting that extra rebound. The more possessions you can get on offense, the better chance you have of scoring, of course. But that's going to be important as well.
Yeah, really without a true big anchoring it down in there for the rebounding purposes. Shot clock down to 3. Williams misses. Look at Eli Brown going up and grabbing a big board inside. Argos bring it the other way. Briggs to the rim. Loses it at the basket. 6 seconds left. Lockett turns the corner, can't come up with it. Argos will get the rebound. Briggs will fire it. It's good if it goes, but it's short. A 3-point lead in the locker room. They had a lead of 8. Talk about the mentality a little bit. When you're going to the locker room, you had an 8-point lead and you've seen it whittled down a little bit.
Yeah, going into the locker room, what was working? That is the first question asked always. What was working out there? How can we be better coming into the next half? And I think for sure they're going to talk about that 1-3-1. That 1-3-1 was working very well. So coming in the second half, I think that they're going to pull that out again.
Argos are 5 of 10 from 3-point range, so 50%, shooting 40% from the floor. West Dallas above their normal shooting percentage at 48, but they're doing it less with shooting threes and more with trying to attack the rim, which has been working for them, kind of brought them back into this game.
Right, yeah. Shooting threes is not their strong suit, so following that up with that 1-3-1, making them shoot them, making them uncomfortable.
The notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
I like the shirt here. That'll bring us to the half. 28-25 is our score. Argos with 20 minutes left to play, trying to pull out a big win here. We'll take a break. We'll be back with you for the second half of this one.
Can health insurance help cure loneliness? Can it take care of your best friend too? Or hold your hand for 9 months? Can it be there for you at 3 a.m.? Or inspire you to go the extra mile? We think so, which is why every day we ask ourselves, what else can health insurance do? Come find out.
Do this.
Years from now, you'll still remember how good she was. And that will feel good.
How can you describe Whataburger's Honey Barbecue Chicken Strip Sandwich? The chicken just has a certain... And then there's the sauce that just gives you a little bit of... And the cheese? It's the exact right amount of... It's almost too hard to put it into... Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The Honey Barbecue Chicken Strip Sandwich at Whataburger. Just like you like it.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
Why do you love your favorite pair of jeans? What keeps you connected to your oldest friends? How do you know that the solution you seek is right for you? The answer is simple. It's the fit. And at Penn Air Credit Union, we believe your finances should fit you perfectly. It's the right checking account for how you spend your time and money. It's the right loan for where you are and where you're headed next. It's local banking that's as comfortable as your favorite pair of jeans. So come join us at Penn Air Credit Union. You'll fit right in.
For those who sweat in determined pursuit, and those who meet the morning with a firm handshake and a smile, and breathe between stages of unwavering effort. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
The Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit at Whataburger, available from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Only it's not that time right now, so it's not available. Instead, we must sit here until 11 p.m. watching footage of the flaky, crispy, buttery goodness that is the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit. Once again, our desires are denied by, ooh, look, the Honey Barbecue Chicken Strip Sandwich. That'll hold us over till 11 p.m. What a burger.
Can health insurance help cure loneliness? Can it take care of your best friend too? Or hold your hand for 9 months? Can it be there for you at 3 a.m.? Or inspire you to go the extra mile? We think so, which is why every day we ask ourselves, what else can health insurance do? Come find out.
Whataburger, please Brent back the Monterey melt. Brent back. Okay, yeah. Message received. We're Brentfing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Brent it on. The Whataburger Monterey melt is back. We brumped it all right. What a burger!
Why do you love your favorite pair of jeans? What keeps you connected to your oldest friends? How do you know that the solution you seek is right for you? The answer is simple. It's the fit. And at Penn Air Credit Union, we believe your finances should fit you perfectly. It's the right checking account for how you spend your time and money. It's the right loan for where you are and where you're headed next. It's local banking that's as comfortable as your favorite pair of jeans. So come join us at Penn Air Credit Union. You'll fit right in.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
For those who sweat in determined pursuit, and those who meet the morning with a firm handshake and a smile, and breathe between stages of unwavering effort. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
I am here to contest the new Whata-Wings from Whataburger.
What?
Real wings have bones. And these boneless wings are actually premium chicken tender bites tossed in one of Whataburger's famous sauces. Honey butter, honey barbecue, buffalo, or
Sweet and spicy.
and now Nashville hot? Those do not turn these Whata-Wings into real wings. I know what a real wing is. That is not
Whata-Wings.
I'm just being myself, cool as can be. When I'm being myself, you wish you were me.
It's so easy. Get out your own way.
Easy peasy, breezy, done. What's the point if it ain't no fun?
I am here to contest the new Whata-Wings from Whataburger.
What?
Real wings have bones. And these boneless wings are actually premium chicken tender bites tossed in one of Whataburger's famous sauces. Honey butter, honey barbecue, buffalo, or
Sweet and spicy.
and now Nashville hot? Those do not turn these Whata-Wings into real wings. I know what a real wing is. That is not
Whata-Wings.
I'm just being myself, cool as can be. When I'm being myself, you wish you were me.
It's so easy. Get out your own way.
Easy peasy, breezy, done. What's the point if it ain't no fun? I don't.
Can health insurance help cure loneliness? Can it take care of your best friend too? Or hold your hand for 9 months? Can it be there for you at 3 a.m.? Or inspire you to go the extra mile? We think so, which is why every day we ask ourselves, what else can health insurance do? Come find out.
Flynn Built, your hometown touchdown. Call Flynn Built at 850-477-6118 for all of your home and building needs. Flynn Built is a proud sponsor of UWF Athletics. Flynn Built, your hometown touchdown.
Why do you love your favorite pair of jeans? What keeps you connected to your oldest friends? How do you know that the solution you seek is right for you? The answer is simple. It's the fit. And at Penn Air Credit Union, we believe your finances should fit you perfectly. It's the right checking account for how you spend your time and money. It's the right loan for where you are and where you're headed next. It's local banking that's as comfortable as your favorite pair of jeans. So come join us at Penn Air Credit Union. You'll fit right in.
We're back with you. Will Kennedy, Liv Becker. I had a healthy halftime dinner of Cheez-Its and Coke Zero.
Hey, that's the best way to go, you know?
Not enough time to eat pizza because then you're trying to chew through it at the half. But Fargo's up 3, 28-25. Kind of a half of run. Started really hot, then saw West Al pick up the pace for the last 10 minutes or so. A little bit more back and forth. The Argos that make those adjustments you were talking about before the half and really have to find a way to stop 22. Thaddeus Williams off to a really nice start in this game, but not just the points at 9 points, but we saw the passes he was making and the ability to play out of that ball screen.
Right, yeah, and I keep going back to that 1-3-1. I mean, that 1-3-1 worked so well, and I think that slowed him down a little bit too because he wasn't able to attack the rim as well as he was doing previously in the half.
Offensively with the Argos, I mean, Shea Davis had those 11 points early the first 10 minutes or so. Got to kind of come out of the locker room, maybe reset for him. But you're getting some good contributions, as we were saying, from some of the other players that up and down the lineup. The question is now, who can keep it going or who's going to step into the void a little bit? So far, Elijah Weiss hasn't been able to find a basket inside, but only taking one shot, 0 for 1. And I feel like Elijah could have some more points, more shots at least, attempts. So here we are ready to go. We had to get the camera out of the way so they can get started here.
I got a little distracted on that real quick.
Big game here. I was saying in the pregame, the Argos are sitting 9th in the GSC standings. Top 8 are going to make the tournament. Still 10 games to play, including tonight. But, they're in a dogfight with 5 teams for those last 2 or 3 spots. Every win's going to be important. And how about that? There it is. Xavier Glenn, who led the way with 14 on Saturday against Huntsville. Nice way to start the second half.
And with so many games left, there's 10 games left. That's a lot of basketball. But that means for the Argos that they have to battle out and pull out a lot of wins to move up at least to 8.
Good news is you've already played Huntsville twice. And there's Thaddeus Young again. That's a playground. Thaddeus Williams, a playground move with that little scoop right there. He holds the defender off with his body and keeps it away from any shot block. That's a beautiful move. You don't see that often anymore. We call that old man game, Liv.
Oh.
They're going to call goaltending because he hung on the rim.
Oh, yeah.
But they're going to get together and talk about this here. If you're in danger, they're going to call a foul, no basket. Okay, so they're going to send Kyle to the line because he did get fouled, but they're going to say the basket wasn't good.
I think that's a fair call.
I agree. I mean, you can't hang on the rim and manipulate the rim for the ball to go down.
On that play, though, that was a really good play. Shea had 2 defenders jump out at him. They went to trap him. Kyle dove to the basket and was wide open, and Shea did a great job at finding him.
And this is not textbook. If you're telling kids how to shoot a free throw, don't fall away from the basket when you're shooting a free throw. He's kind of leaning back and letting it go.
Yeah, you have to stay in your shot.
Gets that one to go. That looks smooth. A little more upright there. Boy, if Kyle McElroy could start, converting more back around the basket, it would really change the dynamic of the way this team plays. Zondrick's done a nice job tonight when he's been in of finishing at the rim. Nice turnover, the steal. X really kind of falling away, trying to throw it with the left hand. That's one where you maybe stop
Maybe a jump stop.
Collect yourself a little bit more. Nice job of getting back, though, to the defensive end. Boy, he is just killing it.
That move was tough. That was a tough move. It was like a half fake spin, hesitation, a little bit of all that.
He uses his body and uses the rim exceptionally well to shield defenders. Davis goes to work, passes off a defender. And Williams will bring it up. 2-point game. West Allis chipped away some points. They're going to get a foul call on Shea Davis as Fofana got into him a little bit offensively. Good job of, as an offensive player, creating that contact and getting a foul called. Davis is making an argument. You love having the video boards because Shea's pointing to the video board like, what did I do? Like, look at the replay here.
Right, I think that's the biggest thing, honestly, like on the court. I know I definitely do that. I'm like, wait, I didn't see anything happen on that one.
Sneaking a peek. I've had players sometimes say, if they're on the end of the courts like this, like they'll be on a fast break and they'll look up real quick to see if anybody's beside them or right behind them.
That's not a bad idea. I might have to pull that one out.
Incorporate that into your game. Knocks down both free throws for Fofana. We're tied up at 31, so 5-point deficits disappeared here in less than 2 minutes out of the locker room. This is the guy I want to see get going here, Elijah Weiss. Find him near the rim. Briggs, nice little crossover, but too nice, and they'll call it travel. That's one of those, you're trying to set him up, but that's tough to pull off.
Yeah, it was like a misdirection step crossover, which, that's a really good move. And when it's played off right, obviously that would have been a clean layup on that one.
Again, missing Latarian Williams in this stretch, and he'll be out for a little while longer, but that's another guy that gives you some offense and definitely gives you so much activity on both ends. They'll go to Weathers. Weathers is going to try to move into the paint on Kyle. He does, but misses the shot. Fofana, they're going to say, stepped on the line. Argos forced the turnover.
Boxing out, that is so key in any game, to box out. Again, possessions are so important, and the more possessions a team gets, the more chances they get to score.
Coach is a little more okay with a long rebound that comes off, but anything that falls in the paint or near the paint, you got to, as a defensive team, you got to be able to collect that rebound. Argos got lucky there because it really was a nice job by Fofana, but they're going to get a foul called here on the baseline. They'll get Fofana with that one. Argos will inbound. So we always talk about the math here. 4 offensive players in the court, 1 inbounding against 5 defenders. It should be a defensive advantage, but often it's not.
100%, and I think a lot of times it's because the defender guards the player out of bounds. When you put the defender out guarding another player or helping on the movement, that can create the advantage for the defense.
Really nice job of getting into the paint, and they're going to call it travel on Weathers. Just couldn't finish Shea with the left hand, but he's getting to some good spots on the court. I told him before, that's why stop, give me a pump fake. Then finish that, Get the big man in the air, lean into him if there's somebody there. A couple of the Huntsville players did a really nice job of that on Saturday with creating those fouls. Oh, another alley-oop. We have not been very good at converting the alley-oops here on
I think that one also should have been a layup. He had the space. He had the rim look. He could have just thrown that up for a layup.
Elliott Tulip on the drive, and for the first time in a long time, West Allis back in front, 33-31 as we hit the 16.5 mark.
There needs to be a break in West Allis' momentum right now. They're feeling it. West Allis, they know what they're doing. They're feeling it. And I thought that was going to be the break in momentum on that one.
Yeah, I thought Kyle was timing it up to maybe dunk that follow, but just didn't quite time it right. And that's going to bring a 5-man shift change from Coach Justin Mann. I don't think he likes what he's seen out of this group to start the second half. Weathers, they're going to call a foul there, but I thought he maybe moved the feet a little bit around.
That looked really straight up to me.
It did.
I think he might have lost the ball going up. But when you sell it, you got to always sell it.
Throw your hands up in the air, do the whole thing.
Ref, what are you looking at?
They're not going to let the substitutions happen yet, but there's going to be 5 new players coming on. Coach Mann's going to empty his bench here. Everybody who's dressed tonight, the other 5 will come in. And really, only 3 points in 4 minutes. By the way, he did not call glass as he banked that free throw in. Oh, my.
I don't think I've seen a bank free throw in a while.
That had shades of Shaq for a second there. Like every now and again, he'd do that because he was such a bad free throw shooter.
Man, that was crazy.
That is truly something. Second one misses. Nice box out on the shooter. There you go, Liv. Ryan Payne just gets in there and rebound lands right in his lap.
You know why I think he missed that one? It was bank. He didn't use the bank.
He should have gone glass again from straight on. So we got James Lockett for the first time here in this game. So now everybody has checked into this game that's dressed up tonight. Zandra Garrett, that's not the shot you want when you're falling away and you're 6'8". You got to attack the rim as a big man.
I think also the offensive rebounds, there's potential to crash the boards and get it off of offensive rebound. Not one person crashed on that one.
I think they're too hesitant about getting beat in transition, and there's a 3 dropped down by Fofana, and it's a 6-point lead, so a 11-point swing out of the locker room in less than 5 minutes. West Alabama's come out with intensity. The Argos have not been able to match it. Ryan Payne, though, there we go. Finally get him untracked a little bit. Drops the 3, cuts the lead to 3.
That was needed at that point.
He had been 0 for 3 before that one, so sometimes as a shooter, right, Liv, you see that first one go, the first one to fall for you, that can open up a hot streak.
And it brings more confidence to your whole play style, defensively, offensively, all of that.
Tulip with a bad miss, and Rodney Bryant just kind of overruns the rebound. Tulip gets it inside. They're going to get Zondrick because Zondrick extended the arms, not straight up, but out over the defender. So that'll send him to the free throw line and bring us to our first time out here in the second half. Argos trail by 3, 37-34 with 14:37 left to play here on Flow Sports. Argos needed something, and it was Ryan Payne who provided it for them after West Alabama had gone on a 10-0 run. Payne able to knock down a 3 there before the timeout, cut that lead back to 3. But 5-point lead at the half, it disappeared. Plus 11 start to the half before the 3. Free throws coming for Elliott Tulip. An unusual name, 6'6" freshman out of Meridian, Mississippi. Can't think of any basketball player I've ever played against, watched, or covered named Tulip.
Last name. I haven't heard that last name either.
Elliott drops the first one there. Step in for the second. West Alabama, as a team, 72.5% from the free throw line. Tulip's pure on both of those.
Interesting tactic for West Al. They didn't have anybody in the rebounding spots for the free throws.
They're like, that's how good a shooter Elliott Tulip is. We don't even need to put a rebounder in there. And he stroked both of them,
so I mean, it played out.
They must know something. Maybe the Argos should just shoot threes the rest of the way because they're killing it at 54.5% from 3. The other stuff has been a struggle. Nice pull up. Definitely a foul as Fofana got his arms across. That was nice job by Eli pulling that up even though it was inside the line.
And that's what happens as a shooter. Like, he's already hit multiple three-point shots, and now they're going to press up on it. They're going to jump at everything on that three-point line, pull it with a little shot fake, get it into the mid-range, and he can hit that too.
And that is not good. Too good a shooter, and that's when you hit that front rim, your legs just weren't in it enough to get it over the bar. So we'll see if Eli can convert the second. But the Argos are going to need every point here against the tough West Allen team. They get the second one to go. Eli does. 39-35, 4-point game. The Argos were regularly turning over and getting stops in the first half defensively. West Allen seems to have found their rhythm a little more offensively. But again, they've only shot 9 threes in the entire game.
See, the Argos went back into their man full. They picked up full court man, and they're back into a man defense again.
Back off the shooter. That's not what you want to do, no matter how the other team is shooting the basketball.
You might have spoken too soon on that one.
Yeah, Lockett drops the three on us right there, 42-35. James Locke, I like the shoes, I like the drive, I like the finish. No, not quite. Zondra Garrett tips it, but Thaddeus Williams comes up with it, and he's looking to attack all day, every day. And he'll get the foul call and go to the free throw line. This is a team lived with West Alabama. I mean, 27 wins last year, won the Gulf South Conference, advanced, beat Tuskegee in the tournament to advance to the next round before losing. I mean, this is every year in and year out, West Alabama's really good. A little bit of a down year as they lost a lot of players off that team, but you can see they're tough.
And especially with that experience, like it's hard when a team has that much experience because they've been there before. They've been in these close games like that. They know how to pull themselves out of it and stay together.
And you see Thaddeus Williams, the senior. I mean, we've been watching him for several years now. I would say it's fair to say he's kind of taken this game over and put his imprint on everything. Attacking the basket, drawing fouls. I mean, really makes everybody around him better. James Locke's going to jack one up. Front rim, miss. Rebound to Fofana. And you see, like here, slow it down, right? We're not going to push this time.
And that goes again to the control of the game. Like, he's controlling the pace right now, the plays, who gets the ball, all of that.
Drops it in on a nice pass to Fofana. Oh, I don't know about that one. They're going to call goaltending. I thought he got that one.
I thought he got that one too. That one looked clean to me.
Look at that one because I don't think the ball was coming down. But again, offensive rebound. What a great job by Fofana in there, creating a second chance. 10-point lead. 15-point swing since the break. Falling down, Zondra Garrett kicks it to James Locke in the corner, in and out. Argos all of a sudden now can't hit a three. I spoke too soon. This is where you're in that 12-minute-ish mark. You've got to find a way to pull it back together. Nice pass inside, but nice job by Zondra Garrett of getting up and deflecting that. James Locke on the push. Eli Brown gets it knocked out of bounds by Fofana. You're kind of seeing West Alabama, you mentioned the experience level, right? It's almost like a shark, like blood in the water. You can see them gaining momentum and really attacking the Argos now, especially on this end of the floor. Defensively, West Al's really getting into the Argos space.
And I think in halftime, they came out really strong out of half. So that halftime speech had to have been something special.
Fiery, spicy. Elijah Weiss. Zondra Garrett's going to try to go to work against McIntosh, but we've seen Big Z go down a couple times. Pull the chair on him right there. I don't think Thaddeus Williams been out of this game yet.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. He's played 28 minutes. Oh, nice turn, nice pass. And a really nice job of finishing. There's that pump fake. Gets the defender in the air, then goes up and under him. 12-point lead.
That pump fake was needed on that play as well because there was two UWF players jumping on that.
Now there it is. That looked easy. I mean, that nice little drop pass on the roll to the basket. 11:22 left brings us to a timeout. Argos trail by 10, 47-37 is the score right here on Flow Sports.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
For those who sweat in determined pursuit, and those who meet the morning with a firm handshake and a smile, and breathe between stages of unwavering effort. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back in. Will Kennedy and Liv Becker with you. The officiating crews taking a look at a play from a couple minutes ago where Zondrick Garrett was called for the goaltend. And looking at it here, looks like the ball is still on the way up. He did not touch the rim, didn't get his hand over the cylinder. That looked like, we said it looked like a clean block from our perspective, and I would have to agree with that the more I see it here. Unless it touched the backboard, but I don't think it touched the backboard.
You know, that looks clean from my angle.
I could see where the officials would call it because it was so close to the rim, but it looked to me, it's not on the way down. It's not over the rim yet. And it's, you know, he didn't touch the net, didn't touch the rim. I'd call that a clean block.
Yeah, and that's a hard call, though, for the refs to take the call back. So if it looks a little too close for them, they're going to keep it. And that's the only thing.
I agree with your thinking right there. And they're discussing it here. We'll see what the call is. They're calling it a good basket. They're going to come and give us the explanation here. Okay. Liv called it, calling the floor stands. Yeah, I would say this in just about every sport. They never want to overturn a call unless it's clear. Right. And, you know, but that one, I still would argue that looked like a clean block.
I would too, but, yeah, they don't like to overturn that, even if it's a little close.
But that's the kind of play that could end up being big in a game like this, and the Argos got to fight their way back in.
And I think that was a huge momentum booster for West L.
Yeah. They dodged a bullet there. That would have been, you know, a block shot like that for the Argos would have lifted everybody. The Argos are going to put a little pressure in. They bring Shea Davis back in.
There's this 1-3-1 extended.
I think you got to play like this if you're, you know, trying to climb your way back in. 11-minute mark approaching quickly. And then you force them to have less time on the offensive end in their set.
And to do things that they're uncomfortable with doing.
Davis, nice job defensively there. Holds Lockett to a short shot. The Argos will run down the court. Shea's going to attack the rim. Nice stop. Yeah, that pass was not a shooting pass. They'll go to Zondrick. That's too far out. Rodney Bryant's going to pull it. Oh, Rodney Bryant.
Wow.
3, and it's a 7-point game. Love to see that go in for RB. Like the confidence there.
And the jab. Hit it with a little jab.
Move him back and then pull that trigger.
That's a hard shot to hit as well, because once you jab, you thought about it for a second. Second-guessed yourself maybe, but he jabbed and let that fly.
I think he knew what he was going to do right there. He was confident about it. Now, here's that pick and roll again. Shot clock down to 3. He gets loose. Eli comes up with it. He'll push it up to Elijah. Elijah's going to try to go over the top.
Man.
Wow, how is that not a foul? I mean, the guy goes up, and the defender clearly puts an arm into his chest. That wasn't a goaltend. Clearly, that was a block shot.
That time it was blocked.
Rodney goes the other way. You got to draw contact there. You really do. Rodney backed away from that contact. Shea Davis with an open look, and he knocks it down, so it worked out in the long run. I'm still a little bit out of sorts on that. That should have been a foul call. You get a guy in the air and somebody gets up under you like that.
And that was a hard fall, so
Yeah.
you would think something would get called on that.
Because there's no way Elijah doesn't dunk that unless there's contact. Argos have cut it to 4. Nice little run here. Both ends of the court. But there's a solid answer. Man, Lockett just cold-blooded.
You know, I think on that play, the Argos are getting a little tired. You can see that they're getting a little stagnant on defense and, you know, not going out in their principles of their 1-3-1 defense.
Elijah's trying to go to work. Got a defender pinching down. Eli misses that one. Nice rebound. Good box out inside by McIntosh. Allows Williams to snag the glass. We've gone under 9 minutes. 50-43 the score here. Argos watched a 5-point lead at the half evaporate. They've been down as many as 10 here in the second half. Fofana drives. Probably should have shot that. They're going to say it's off Eli to stay with the Tigers. Weathers is going to come back in here.
That was great defense. An extra player dropped for the help, got the ball. It was hard to find that post player. Great defense.
Jalen Lemons is going to check in. First real action we've seen from him. He's averaging almost 11 points a game. So Lemons will check in for the first action. That'll bring us to a timeout. 8:38 left. Argos down by 7. 50-43 is our score right here on Flow Sports.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
For those who sweat in determined pursuit, and those who meet the morning with a firm handshake and a smile, and breathe between stages of unwavering effort. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
We've got 8:38 left in this game. Will Kennedy, Liv Becker with you here on Flow Sports from Pensacola, Florida. Argos trail by 7, 50-43. You hate to say it's a must-win game, but every victory is going to be huge down the stretch here for a team fighting for one of those last 2 playoff spots to get into the postseason in the Gulf South Conference. So the Argos have got to find a way.
Right, and you don't want it to play down to the last 3 games left. You know, getting these wins now adds on to that later in the season.
Especially at home. Got to try to protect your home court. That guy fires one up. Another offensive board. Lockett comes down with it and hits a 3. How often does that happen? You give up an offensive board and it leads to a 3.
The energy on the bench at Westall is crazy right now. That's definitely fueling them as well.
The opposite is happening on the Argos bench. Nice job by Elijah turning the corner and getting that little floater up there. And that is the first points of the game. Only the 3rd shot for number 4.
There's that bucket, though, that we were looking for from him.
I think he's got to be a force here offensively the rest of this way. They're going to say it was out off the Argos and Rodney Bryant. 17 on the shot clock. 8-point game. And that's the under 8 timeout. We just had one. We'll take another one. Under 8 media timeout. 7:52 left. 53-45 is our score. There's Elijah Weiss. Nice finish. Got to have that soft touch. We got some basketball left to play right here on Flow Sports. Back with you. 7:52 left to play. The Argos clinging here, keeping it around this 8-point mark, which is where the lead sits for West Down now. But they got to find a way. They had it cut to 4 a minute ago. They got to find a way to continue the run. Another offensive rebound. 2 Argos had their hands on it. Elliott Tulip ends up with it. That's like 4 or 5 possessions now in a row. It feels like that the Tigers have come up with offensive glass.
Yeah, and that last play, some talking would have helped on that.
They're going to call Zondrick with the foul here. I thought he stayed vertical.
I think it's always easy to call the big man on
Yeah.
a foul.
I always used to tell the big men, like, don't reach with your arms at all. Don't swing at a shot either. They'll call it. I thought he did a nice job defensively there, but officials disagreed. 15 on the shot clock. You know what I just saw right there? Thaddeus Williams use his off arm to push the guy out of the way. That might be an offensive foul.
You know, but if the refs don't see it and it's working.
Got to have this glass. They do. Jerron Briggs back in the game, comes up with it. He'll fire over to Shea Davis. Davis hesitates, blows past, and finishes.
Wow.
A beautiful little move.
That was a great move. He hesitated at the 3, knowing that he can pull the 3. Defender has to step up a little bit. Easy blow by.
Got to have that guy pick up the offensive pace and get up to 14 points in the game now. Got to stop that guy. He is the catalyst, and he throws the little alley-oop up top to Weathers for the dunk.
On that play, having Elijah just go over the screen on that, stay with his players, so then the backside could stay on theirs as well.
Nice job by Jerron of getting around Thaddeus Williams and forcing the foul from Weathers. Really, though, you look up and down, nobody really in foul trouble for either team. No more than 2 fouls, but you can see right there, Thaddeus Williams, not only is he scoring at a nice clip, he's already up to 14 in the game, averaging 15, so almost to his season average, but he's distributing the basketball well. And I was looking at the numbers. You always look at a guy who's a guard, and especially a scoring guard, as Jerron misses the first free throw. I'm looking at his assist to turnover. He's almost, he's 45 assists to 21 turnovers. That's a good number for a guy who's got the ball in his hands that much.
Yeah, and as a point guard, as much as you would want to score, as a point guard, you got to be the best assist player. And that has really been shown from Williams tonight, is that he is very good at finding his teammates.
And you see he's already split the Argos so many times and gotten to the rim. They all came to him, allowing for that easy alley-oop. 55-48. Tigers on top. They'll settle in offensively here. They're going to limit the possessions down the stretch, too. Very patient on offense. They've run the shot clock deep a couple times. They're going to get Elijah with a foul called here. It'll be the 6th team foul on the Argos.
That's another thing about Williams. He's very good at drawing contact. He does a little bump, gets back into it, and then finds his way to the rim.
Hesitation game. I think I've said this about Thaddeus before. He does have that old man game. Like the guy at the park, like, why are they picking this guy? And then he's out there doing all these things.
On top of that, he's calm. He's a very calm, level-headed player.
Oh, beautiful spin. Misses the shot, went up under the rim. Jerron held up. There it is.
The layup.
That's for Bill Valona. Nice, easy layup on the other end. It's a 5-point game. Argos have cut into it. And they're doing it with some good defense, but also, hey, transition baskets. Get those easy hoops. Jerron settles in. Eli's covering Thaddeus here in the corner. You can't really afford to let him shoot, but you definitely want to try to shut off the drive on him. Stay in front of him and keep an arm's length so you can challenge the shot. Lemons penetrates, kicks it back out. Gotta watch this guy. He's their outside shooter. It has been pure money from Lockett here. Lead back to 8. Lockett now 4 of 7 from 3. Actually make that 5 of 8, 19 points in the game.
See, defensively, it's easy to.
Oh, wow. I thought Shea got fouled right there. That was a smooth stroke.
But defensively, it's easy to watch the shot and not be ready like, oh, he beat his defender. He's ready to go up for the layup and get caught ball watching. But those outside kickouts, that's what's key. You got to still press up on your man like that, especially an outside shooter.
And Westhouse done a great job of finding Lockett. And you mentioned it, Liv, creating that contact. Williams takes another bump. He's been on the floor a couple times, but as they penetrate, the Tigers are finding 23. They're finding Marcellious Lockett outside, and he's making the Argos pay. 5 made threes, so 19 points and 15 of those off the deep ball. And they're going to bring back Rodney Bryant, Xavier Glenn, Shea Davis, Eli Brown will head to the bench. Davis with 16 points leading the way for the Argos. He's been good tonight, 5 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 7 from 3.
Just a quick breather. He'll be back in.
And it really is, you obviously want to spread the ball around. 10 shots doesn't feel like a lot for me for Shea Davis.
Not at all. And I think he did pass up some open opportunities.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple times where he's thrown the lob where he maybe could have converted the layup. Back to a 9-point game. The Argos so frustrating. They've cut it to 4, they've cut it to 5, and then watched West Al just pull it right back out, usually with a dagger 3 from Lockett.
And here West Al backs off the free throw line again, most likely preventing the transition play from the Argos.
Counting on their man to make both. And he does. 60-50 now, 10-point game with 4:40 left to play. Ron Briggs kicks to Elijah White. She goes free throw line. That's a great little area for him. Second made basket on that little push floater. Cuts it to 8.
You know, Jerron saw that he had 2 defenders on him. That means somebody on the court's open.
It's math, right? Pure math. Got to cover up 23. Can't lose contact. Rodney Bryant's got to stay with Lockett on that outside that arc. But what a spin move. Lockett.
Oh, wow.
That finish was incredible.
Oh, my. That spin move was so smooth as well.
Yeah, there's a playground element to the way they're playing. A loose freedom is what I mean. Not, it's effective, but they just look like they're having fun almost.
And I think that's the best type of basketball because you grow up playing basketball at the park, at the rec, all of that. And so when you get to play your game how you want to play it and just have some freedom with it, it's fun.
Jerron Briggs grabs the board off the Zondrick Garrett grabs the board off the Briggs miss, and then I haven't seen that from him. A lot of times he's falling away. That time he attacks, creates contact, and gets the hoop in the arm.
And that's that fire. You could see the fire ignited in him on that.
3:40 left. It's 62-54. We'll keep it right here. So, Liv, this is kind of under that 4-minute mark, and here's the rebound. Look at the physical play. Just blows Weathers out of the way down in that restricted area. This is that 4-minute window. This is like the furious finish here to a long race. Down 8. Going to have a free throw attempt here, maybe cut it to 7. What do the Argos need to do in this last, 3 minutes and 40 seconds to try to reel it back in and create, a chance at the end?
Definitely finding the open player. That's number one thing. The West Al is trapping, sending 2 to a player at times, so that means somebody's always open. And honestly, shooting layups instead of dunks at this point. Layups are working for the Argos very well. Lobbing it up, not so much. And defensively, I would like to see them continue that 1-3-1, fighting over screens a little more, that kind of stuff, boxing out, rebounding.
Got to keep them out of the lane. West Alabama's just found, you've seen this, because a nice move, that spin move by Lockett there, and obviously Thaddeus Williams, but you can't give them those straight line drives. You got to stay in front of them. Really, only Lockett is hurting you from 3-point range.
And that's something to be aware of. All right, I might help off my defender, stay in the lane a little bit closer, plug the gap, but know where the shooter is at all times.
It's a 10-point game with 3:40 left to play with the timeout there. Zondrick with a free throw, drops it, beautiful free throw, so now it's a 9-point game. You're going to only have so many possessions down the stretch, so you got to find a way to get stops. You're letting West Alabama convert, really no chance to get back in this game. And go with some heavy pressure.
That press, yeah, for sure, is going to be what they need. And West Alabama has been doing a really good job at slowing the pace down. They know that they're up right now. They know that they have control of possessions, and they're really wasting time off the shot clock.
And yeah, really nice. Another nice block by Zondrick. Rodney Bryant on the push. Got to convert here. And they're going to say out of bounds. Yeah, that looked like some contact on the back of Zondrick Garrett, but no call. Argos will keep it. So 3:06, unable to get an easy basket out of that transition. But you got to convert here. 3 minutes and 6 seconds. You got to stop on one end. This is what hurt them against Huntsville down the stretch. They weren't able to get baskets down here.
And that's the main thing. Stop, score, stop. score, stop, score.
And that's the man.
And there we go.
Could he get going? Could he find his offensive game? Elijah Weiss has. Now, that's 3 straight shots he's made that he's put up. Elijah now up to 6 points in the game. Nice job of covering up Weathers down there. Briggs saw him because I think they were about to try another alley-oop. So running the shot clock down, smart play. Thaddeus Williams will go to work with the shot clock at 10. Tries to drop pass. The Argos tip it, can't come up with it. Shot clock is down to 3. That didn't hit the rim, it just hit the backboard. So the Argos get a stop here. Now they ran off 30 seconds. That's the negative part of that. The good part is you did get a stop. 2:27 left. You're down 5. You can convert here. All of a sudden,
100%.
You've got a 3-point game or maybe a 2-point game.
And it would be key if they could get a quicker score, not using the full shot clock. And as you saw, they rolled the ball up so that the clock didn't start for that.
So go inside.
Oh,
that
man.
Pass. Weiss was trying to get it to Glenn. Glenn taps his chest, said I should have been over here instead of there. But that's one you just can't afford to throw the basketball away right there in this situation. All that hard work you did on the defensive end just for a turnover. The Argos had been pretty good with the basketball. Both teams had 11 turnovers for both teams as we approach the 2-minute mark. That's a pretty good job of taking care of the basketball. Tulip drives. Nice rebound there. Zondrick comes up with it. We go under the 2-minute mark. Xavier Glenn looks to penetrate, cannot finish. Zondrick tries to grab the rebound, but Weathers is inside of him and corrals it.
Man, the Argos really needed that bucket.
Oh, the last 2 trips down, they've had an opportunity to cut. They really could have the lead right now.
And on top of that, when you have these quick possessions where you aren't converting out of it, and defensively you might be working hard, but you're not converting, it takes a toll on you. And it also takes a toll on you mentally, too.
Always harder to play from behind than in front. Lemons.
Wow.
They're going to call a goaltend.
What?
Or shot clock violation. Nope, not a
shot
goaltend.
clock. Yeah, that was shot clock.
But that was a heck of a block right there.
Big block.
How about Zondrick now? That's at least 3. I don't know if they give him credit for that one or not, but yeah, he's got 3 blocks in the game. Probably should have 4 on that one they called a goaltend.
Yeah, Zondrick's been doing his thing defensively, and when you could see the fire in him. When he battles down there, posting up hard, going into the shot, that's the Zondrick I like to see.
Another missed shot. The Argos just unable to convert. 3 opportunities in the last minute to cut into this lead, and it still sits at 5. And really, if you're West Al, you may have to start fouling if you're the Argos because they're going to run 30 seconds off the clock, and you're going to be limited. You're going to end up having to foul anyways. Great defensive job, even better offense. That's why Thaddeus Williams is who he is.
That's the type of pressure that the Argos need, though.
That probably just won the game. Unless the Argos can find a way. How about Zondrick?
Oh, man.
Unable to convert that. And they'll have to start fouling with 29 seconds left. And this is going to be frustration, I know, for Coach Mann and the staff over there, just to have a 5-point lead at the half and be unable to reel it back in. Really had an opportunity here in the last 2 minutes to really pull back even, if not take the lead.
Yeah, but honestly, hanging head's a little too early on this one. It is down by a lot at this point, Down by
7
points.
It's tough. I mean, it comes down to now, can West Al convert free throws?
Right.
If they miss free throws, you can find a way back into this thing. But if they're going to make them, then, yeah, it gets tough. This is why you, at the end of practice, right, Liv, when you're tired and you've been running up and down the court, you shoot those free throws with your body in that state.
And the mental aspect as well. Definitely like adding players, yelling at you to put more pressure on it so it feels like a game situation.
Back to a 10-point lead. Lockett has played 36 minutes. Thaddeus Williams has not come off the court. He's going to play the full 40 here tonight.
This just needs to be a quick 3 right here, and that's what Shea does.
The one that looked good, just a little short. They'll have to foul again. down 9, 66-57. They'll send Tulip to the free throw line.
And that's 5 fouls for Elijah on that one.
Elijah checks out. Really, you know, it wasn't until the last quarter of the game that Elijah really started his offensive push, and he was able to finish the night here with 8 points, 4 or 7 from the floor. But that, you look at that and say, where was it earlier in the game? You know.
And it was really the second part of the second half where he showed up.
Tulip misses a free throw. They'll push. Eli's going to try to find range. Zondrik's going to shoot the 3.
At this rate, any 3.
Ryan Payne got bumped there, so they're going to call a foul. The Argos is trying to get a 3 up as quick as they could right there in that possession. 10 seconds left now, 9-point spread. You're going to need a Reggie Miller miracle right here if you're going to get back in this one. Steal the inbound pass, make threes, and you know, you can't really have a 2. He gets one. They'll call a timeout right here.
That's the Zondrik I like to see, though. He has come in strong, and he is attacking the rim strong. And that is something that tonight he has done very well at. Defensively as well. Jumping at the right points, blocking the defender, the offender, all of that.
6 of 9 from the floor to Liv's point. 13 points, 7 boards, 4 blocks. Nice stat line for Zondrik tonight. I know there have been a couple misses. But really, he could be 9 for 9. Well, at least 8 for 9. He missed the 3, but I mean, he's been around the rim all night long and converted more of them than has been usual for him. He's really helped the team with Weish out, obviously, with the 5 fouls. And the Argos have fought hard. They've played hard. It just felt like coming out of the locker room, West Isle turned it up to another notch. The Argos couldn't quite match.
And I think that was the biggest game changer of this game was halftime. Right out of the locker room, having a huge lead that West Isle had gotten, that's hard to come back from. Momentum, mentally, physically, all of that.
Yeah, really it was the Argos, it was 28-25 at the half. We took a timeout at 14:37, and at that point the lead had been pushed, it was 37-34. They had made up all the ground. 37-31, made up all the ground. It had been like a 15-point swing. Knocked out of bounds to stay with West Alabama, 5.8 left on the clock. Inbounds pass, Argos will foul with 4.1. So while we walk the floor, I mentioned earlier, you guys got a nice solid win tonight. Valdosta comes in on Saturday. On the men's side here, they're second in the conference with only 1 conference loss, right behind Huntsville. What do you expect on the women's side from Valdosta? Always a tough matchup.
Yeah, athletically, it's a tough matchup, especially because they play somewhat similar to us. But, I mean, we're locked in. We know what we have to do. We want to play in that tournament, and we know what we have to do to get there.
Argos in that top 4 on the women's side, and I mentioned the top 8 get in there. Third right now?
Third place right now.
Yeah, you want to be in that, an opportunity to play that first game at home, potentially as well, and then go to that Final Four, get a win, staying in that top 4 makes that happen. A couple free throws dropped in for Elliott Tulip. So Lockett's going to finish his leading scorer in the game with 23, 5 of 8 from 3, 8 of 16 from the floor. Williams will finish with 18 points, 8 rebounds. That one is heaved and misses, and the final score 68-59, almost carbon copies. You guys won 68-58, but flip it around in the men's game. Low scoring, both teams came in averaging about 70 points a game. There were good moments, but obviously unable to stop that guard play from both Williams and Lockett. And this is a guard league in a lot of ways, on the men's side especially. Good guards can kill you.
Right, and I think that's why Zondrik really pulled it out today. He knew what he had to do. He was strong around the rim, and I'd like to see that continue from him.
Coach Woodruff walking over here for West Alabama just had that look of relief on his face. It was a dogfight here tonight. We'll get Coach Mann over here in a second, but Liv, thanks again. You jumped in the first half, coming out of the locker room and doing a fantastic job for us here. You guys, again, 2 o'clock on Saturday, and then 4 o'clock for the men. So good luck to you there. Coach Mann's making his way over here. And we'll grab. I'll come around and grab Coach Mann here. Actually, we'll give him the headset. So we got Coach Mann making his way over here. Thank you, Liv. We'll give him the headsets here tonight. Coach, I know it's a tough one. It's a frustrating one, but you guys, first half, and you go to the locker room with a 3-point lead, come out, it just felt like the beginning of the second half was stuck in the mud a little bit. What was the difference there? You know, it's first half to second half.
Just flat. Didn't get stops. Didn't get out and run. Let the only guy that can really score for them, the only shooter they really have out there, go 5 for 8 from the 3, 23 points. So.
I thought Thaddeus Williams, I mean, he's a veteran guard in this league. He kind of dictated tempo and the way the game was played a lot tonight. He's a tough one.
Yeah, he's a vet. He's been in the league. He knows what to do. If you don't come out and want to guard your yard, you're going to struggle against them because they're just going to put their head and go. They had 36 points in the paint, and then on top of that, they hit 12 free throws, so you can say they had 48 points in the paint.
Shea Davis came out, was hunting his shots early, made a couple threes. Yeah, looked good offensively there, but I thought Zondra Garrett really played a nice game tonight. The stat line shows 13 points, I think 7 rebounds and 4 blocks. He was all over the place.
Yeah, Z impacts the game, just like you said, blocks a lot of shots, high energy guy. Can't be the only one to go on the glass. I mean, we got out-rebounded by 6. So we just have to be tougher. We have to be tougher.
Valdosta coming in on Saturday. You got some time to work on some stuff in practice with no games between now and then. Is toughness something you can build in practice?
We're going to find a way to. We're going to find a way to be tougher in practice.
I trust you will. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it. We'll see you on Saturday again.
Thanks. Go Argos.
Thank you, Coach. Grab that from you. So that'll do it for us here. The Argos, again, 2 o'clock on Saturday will be the women's start time against Valdosta. The men will turn around and play at 4 o'clock. Valdosta comes in second in the league in the men's side. It's going to be a tough task, but as you heard Coach Mann say, he's going to work on that toughness, and they're going to try to bounce back on Saturday. Last of a 3-game homestand, 9 games left in the season. The Argos still fighting for one of those 8 playoff spots. That wraps it up for here. Thanks to Dom in the control room, everybody out here on the cameras, and the whole crew. We'll see you on Saturday right here on Flow Sports, and as always, go Argos.